There is lots of talk about commitment, but what does commitment really mean? And I am, as you can tell, if you are watching the video, I am come back from a workout and I have rushed over to get this in tonight because I committed to doing these podcasts, to doing these episodes. And I am going to speak about the mindset that I had and the back and the forth and the battle that I had in terms of what it is that I was going through, just so you can see practically what it is that you want to be doing. All right. So that being said, I committed to myself that I will be doing these episodes about once. We're going to be doing these episodes every night or every day, depending on the time. And we're going to be doing it every day except for Fridays, so and Saturdays. So it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, unless there's some reason that I'm not near my computer, I can't do it. And there's really a good excuse, so I will be doing it. There have been times where I brought my computer with me, and I wanted to make sure that I get them in. Other times where I've done 2 days, where if I knew I was going to miss a day, then I try to do 2 the day before, and then I would be able to just like pre-record it and send it out, whatever. But tonight I missed my opportunity to do it because I actually had another priority that I was taking care of. And then I said, you know what, I really want to work out today. I didn't get to do anything, so I went on a run. But then I said to myself, if I go on a run, that's going to be jumping into my, bedtime, relaxing time in order to go shower and then just like go to sleep. And I was like, nope, I have to jump in. I have to be able to do it. So I went on my run. And then even on my run, my foot started hurting me. And I'm like, oh, I should just go back, just do the live and this and that. And I'm like, no, I will continue the run as a walk and just head back to my house. And then after a while, my foot actually started feeling better. I started running and it actually didn't hurt anymore, which was pretty sweet. So I got my run in, and then I came home and I'm like, I got to do the live, even though it's late, even though it's almost past my bedtime. Yes, I had bedtime as an adult. And I was like, I got to get this in because this is a priority. And what does that mean? But don't you have to be committed to go to sleep early? Yeah, but guess what? If I have to be a little bit more tired tomorrow because I have to get this in, that to me is more important. So number one is we have to try to figure out what is our goal? What is it that we're trying to do? And I think a lot of times people aren't really so clear on that. And because they're not so clear on that, they end up putting themselves in situations where perhaps they don't necessarily know what even they're committing to. And because of that, they end up messing themselves up. So we have to try to get real clear on terms of what our commitment is. Like, what is it that we want to be doing? And I think a lot of times people think that commitment, they have to be committed for like ever. And that's the scary part. And for certain goals, maybe, marriage, like, yeah, but having a kid, yeah, those are like pretty much until those are infinite commitments. But I think there are other things that we could try to do in order to commit to tell ourselves, okay, I'm going to do this until this, and I'm going to see how things go. I'm going to see the results of like what's going on here. And a lot of times people undercommit, and therefore they don't have enough time to see the results. But other times we have the ability to check it out, feel it out, see what's going on. And as long as we set the proper expectations of what really should happen, so that should be something that we should be able to hit. So these episodes are a commitment that I just did for myself. I was like, I'm going to try to first I was like, I'm just going to commit to do for a week. Then I started doing, okay, no, I'm going to commit to do 20 of them. Then I was like, let me do 50, then 100. And then I'm like, okay, let me just do 200. And I'm like, okay, now I'm just doing it. And until something shifts, I'm planning on doing these episodes. And that's something that I'm looking to do. And I think it's really important because so many times people don't have the clarity in terms of what is that they want to be doing. And because they don't have that clarity, they're not able to take that action. And because they're not able to take that action, they end up just hurting themselves. They end up messing up the situation that they want to be doing and what they want to be committing to. So get real clarity, try to figure out what it is they want to be committed to. We then have to realize that there are going to be tough times. There are going to be times where we're not going to be in the mood. There are going to be times where things are going to pop up. There are going to be times where your kid wakes up at like 3 a.m. and therefore waking up at 5 is going to be really tough because you've got no sleep the night before. And we have to try to figure out and plan for those. So you see, I think a lot of times people don't realize that they don't set themselves up for success because they're not planning for when things don't go as scheduled. And because of that, we have to really figure out what it is that we have to be doing and really what it is that we have to start to work on in order to allow ourselves to commit to whatever it is that we're looking to commit to. And I think if we could just set ourselves up, that could be something that could shift. So today I had that different priority take precedence over my priority of doing the live. And therefore, I said to myself, what am I going to do? And I was like, okay, I might have time. I might have some time. Even if I don't do my full 15, 20-minute talk, regardless, if I could just get it in, that's going to be more important. Because sometimes the commitment doesn't even care about doing the full thing. It just cares that you do it. So for me, if there's I remember the first time I recognized this, I was going to go on a run, speaking of going running, and I usually go on like this 2-mile run around my house. So there's this whole big circle that I go on. And I think it was like, I do it like, I need like 20 minutes to do it. And I only had like 15 minutes or something like that. I was like, shoot, I can't go on my run. What am I going to do? And my wife was like, just go on a shorter run. And I was like, genius. And for me, it was either like all or nothing. It was like I have to do my 20-minute run or I have to do no run. And there were previous times before that time where like I literally just stepped back and didn't do anything. And what I realized is that I need I could still do something. I could still do some of it. So it's like, someone's on a diet and they're committing to eating healthier, and it's like, oh, I already ate like, all this junk. Might as well just eat all the rest of the junk. And I think we all fall for that. And the answer is like, no, you don't have to. It's like, okay, yeah, I messed up, but guess what? I can still stay committed to whatever I can stay committed to. And the same thing with me. It's like, I don't have to go on a 20-minute run. I went on a 12-minute run, and that was like just as good. I was happy. And what ends up happening that way is that we keep the consistency going. So it's like I ran the last 3 days, even if the runs were shorter, I still went running. And that's something that could really build, because the consistency over time is one of the things that are going to help us. That's going to be the thing that's going to give us the momentum. So even during the down times, if it's like, yeah, I want to wake up to go to the gym, and instead of going to the gym for 45 minutes, I have to go for 20 minutes. And yeah, it's still annoying to drive and to change and this and that, but I'm only going to be working out for 20 minutes. Guess what? That 20 minutes is going to help you the next day to get up to do your 40-minute workout. Because I guarantee you that if you don't do even the 20 minutes, the next day it's going to be a little harder to get to the 45-minute workout, or the day after that. And all of a sudden you start building this train and this habit of things that you don't want to be doing. And I think it's really, really important to understand that even if we take some action, it's just more important than taking no action. And for so many people, they get so stuck because they're not able to take the action. So what we have to try to do is, what is it that we can do in order to allow ourselves to take that action? If we can start to do that, that can be something that can really, really, really powerful when it comes to the work that we're trying to do, the commitments that we're trying to make. And, going back to the aspect of really creating our commitments, is we have to understand that we have to commit until period. So like when we commit to ourselves that we're going to make our bed every morning, it's like, even if we're in a rush, like we have to make our bed, like we have to do it. And I think so many times people don't realize that the problem with people who have a hard time committing is like they tell themselves like, oh, I'll just do this one time, I won't do it, or you know what, it's like, oh, I'll do it later. It's like no, that's the commitment part. It's like you said you're going to do it, like you have to do it. And I think it's really important that we have to figure that out for ourselves, that if you can start to understand how you work and how it is that you commit or don't commit, that's going to be the thing that's going to be helpful. Like what's throwing you off? And usually it's like the emotional side of things. When like in the beginning it's exciting. It's like, you go out with a girl and then all of a sudden like you're very excited about the date, and then all of a sudden it's like things are starting to get a little, plateau a little bit, and it's like getting a little, stale, and it's like, you got to make it more exciting and you have to get more into it and this and that. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm not into this anymore. But like maybe you could have been, like maybe you should have been, and for so many people they can't commit, or things are even going well, and then you start talking about more serious things, and that gets you uncomfortable, and therefore you end up backing up. So we have to figure that out for ourselves. Like, what is it that we're going to be doing? How is it that we're going to be able to see what's happening? And if we do that, that could be something that could just make sure that we stay on target. Because for so many of us, we get so distracted with other goals, with the emotions that we're going through. And commitment is like, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just focusing on what I'm going to be focusing on. And I know for me, the times where I have a hard time getting up in the morning is because I start rationalizing to myself. It's like, okay, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And it's like, no, you have the ability to not rationalize. You have the ability to stay focused on what it is that you want to be doing. And that's something that's really, really important when it comes to any commitment that we want to be doing. So making sure that we are staying focused on that can be the thing that really helps us stay forward in terms of what it is that we want to be doing. So what is your commitment? What are the things that you're going to want to be doing? What are the things in your life that you committed to that you keep falling at? And ask yourself, why does that you fell? And if you could start to audit yourself, if you could start to get real with yourself and ask yourself, what has been going on? Why is it that I'm not able to commit to the thing that I want to commit to? Then you have that ability to start to say, hey, you know what? I can do something different. I want to be doing something different. I have the ability to shift and to change things in my life. And that is something that is so powerful, because for so many people, they go through the same patterns over and over and over again. And it's so sad and so disappointing. But what's even more disappointing is that they're not learning from it. They're not looking back to say, hey, how did I mess up these 5 times? Every time I make an investment, I keep messing up. But what am I missing? What's the one piece that has to shift? And I think for so many of us, if we could just do that and just learn from that and just tweak it, we're going to be so much further along. But for some reason, we just keep making the same mistake. If we could start to stay on target with what it is that we want to be doing, start to understand, okay, what is my commitment? Even if I'm not going to do the full thing, but I'm going to do something just to give me that momentum, to be able to say, I'm going to have that consistency, to be able to win the next day. I'm not going to lose the day, I'm not going to win the day, but understand that, that's going to be a thing that's going to help me practically. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you move forward. And if you're committing to something, we have to understand why we're committing to it. because that's going to be the thing that's going to keep you going when the things get tough or boring or not exciting. And for so many people, they don't understand truly why they want to be doing certain things, and because of that, they keep messing themselves up. So ask yourself what you want to commit to. Ask yourself how you're going to commit to it. Ask yourself what you've committed to in the past that you've messed up on and why you've messed up on it. And just try to figure out, okay, what is it that I can start to do to move forward? And I think if we understand that, if we can try to figure that out, then all of a sudden we have this ability to be able to move forward and really take advantage of everything we want to take advantage of. All right, everybody, have a great one. We'll see you all on the next one. Happy I got this one in.